Hi everyone, welcome to my latest video. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be opening this today. This is the Bowie at the Beeb 4-disc box set, which was released towards the end of February. It's 2016. It's my birthday today, so this was a present from my wife. For our wedding, she bought me a 5 years box, so I see a bit of a theme going here. I've got a few other vinyls as well, and I might get around to reviewing those at some point, but I'll certainly be tweeting what they are a little bit later on. But I thought I'd do an unboxing for this so you can see it. It's all completely sealed. So let's have a little look. So we've got the sticker down here, says 180 gram heavyweight vinyl. Great. We'll have a look at those in a minute. And immediately I can see that the image on the front is the same as the one that was on the CD release a few years ago, I think. I haven't actually got it. This is all new music for me that I haven't heard. Some of it I've tracked down on the internet. So we've got Bowie there, stood in front of a microphone, looking amazing, fag in his hand, some kind of condenser microphone. There's a couple there actually. It's like a Neumann over there as well. 1968 to 1972, so it's a similar kind of time period to the 5 years box, which was 69 to 73, I think. So yeah, so it's about the same thing. And on the back, we've got the track listing. What I do notice before I even open it is it's a textured box rather than just a shiny box, which is quite nice. So let's get in there and have a little look at what the vinyls look like. So I'm not massively precious about this cellophane. I usually am on normal albums, but then this has got its own box, so that's all good. So get rid of that. Sorry. Okay. Got some crazy screen wobbling. Yeah, so you can see now that that's off. That's a matte box, so there's not a great deal of shine off that at all. It's quite nice and textured actually. So there's the cover, plain black on the inside. Let's put that to one side. Okay, what have we got? So I've got a glossy booklet here. You can see how glossy that is. I'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's have a look at the actual records themselves. Okay then. So I've got 4 plain black inner bags. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to go through each and every single one of these because I think they pretty much all will look the same. So I'll just have a quick overview of what they look like. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely a heavy vinyl because it's not making any wobbly sounds when I'm giving it a little shake. So I've got the same picture as the box there, and on the back I've got a plain blue label with it's kind of orange and goldy text. It's Parlophone, that's his record label. It was his record label until recently, obviously. And then BBC logo as well. So obviously they've done some kind of deal on this. The bags themselves, just plain black inner bags with anti-static interiors. This is very nice. Rest assured, I'm desperate to listen to this, so this is going to be a short video, but I wanted to do a video of me actually opening it so you can see genuinely how I'm feeling about it as I'm looking at it. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's my 4 discs, and then the bottom of the box, which is the same as the top, in that it's empty. Nothing pictorial wise going on. I'll pop those back in there. Okay, so the actual booklet itself, oh this is nice. So you've got the other half to the photograph there as well. So that's the whole photograph, which is rather lovely, isn't it? So what have we got going on in the background? So we've got the studio space in here. You can see it's the boom stands and everything. Yeah, cool. Okay. So if I go through it, if I try and turn and let you guys see what I'm looking at. So I've got another track listing there. What's quite nice is that this material goes right back to his first incarnations. So in the Heat of the Morning, I mean Amsterdam is a Jacques Brel song that he did live lots, but he never recorded it on an album, although I know of anyway, unless it was on the DRAM album. I don't think it was. Wide Eyed Boy from Free Cloud, that's on his first. It's the Philips Mercury, the first album, the Space Oddity album. That was on Philips, yes. And then it goes all the way through to Lady Stardust, Rock and Roll Suicide, Changes. So it moves through. There's some Ziggy Stardusty stuff on there. What I really like about this, when I was looking at the track listing that was released online, is that actually it takes obviously all these tracks from different radio shows throughout the years, and it's taking in different ensembles and groups that he used. So you get Tony Visconti, the Tony Visconti Quartet, or whatever they call themselves, which is actually the Hype, which was on the band that he used for The Man Who Sold the World. You also get the Spiders from Mars band, Mick Ronson, Woodmansey, and so on and so forth. So I'm just looking through. I'm going to give this obviously a good look through whilst I'm listening. But we can see why is that? There's a clock there for something or other. There we go. So these must be the tapes for the shows. That must have been taken in the BBC somewhere. That's long hair, so that's Man Who Sold the World kind of era. Here we go. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. It's a really nice glossy book. Really nice thick paper as well. I quite like it. And here we have a much more detailed track listing. So we're talking about who's on the records. So record 1, side 1, for example, David Bowie and the Tony Visconti Orchestra, which is, I think there's 7 or 8 of them. Herbie Flowers on bass, Barry Morgan, John McLaughlin on guitar, Mahavishnu Orchestra, John McLaughlin, very good guitarist. David Bowie and the Tony Visconti Trio, aka the Hype, and you get the impression. Sorry, the kind of the overview. I mean, the quality of the printing on this booklet is really nice. I don't particularly like the glossiness of it, if I'm honest. It's a bit in your face. And I know that there's some stuff, there's some pictures here that you will have never seen before. Yeah, so it's a nice booklet. I can't really comment on the music until I've heard it. It's rarities. I think it's aimed at the fans rather than people that just like a bit of David Bowie. In which case, the 5 years box is probably more like you, or even just the best ofs that they've done over the years. But this, for me, I'm a big Bowie fan. This is a must. I had to have this, and I was told not to buy it when it came out, so that's why, because I've got it now. So yeah, it's really nicely presented. I really like the box. I really like the matte kind of effect on the box, and the glossy booklet. A bit too glossy for me, but the information in it looks really good. It looks really well printed and good quality. Can't really talk much about the vinyls because I'm going to have a listen to them. They're nice and heavy. There's 4 of them, and there's a whole load of Bowie to get my head around. So I did the unboxing video for this yesterday, and I've listened to all 4 discs now, all 8 sides. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a feedback from me. I think it's fascinating. I think it's a fascinating document, and I think having listened to it, there's a lot of songs on there which I love, which are versions of them I've never heard before, having not owned a CD or anything like that. So I've really enjoyed listening to it. Is it something I'll play really often? Not really often, but I will play it from time to time. I think it will be interspersed. So, for example, if I'm going through a bit of a hunky-dory phase, I'll listen to the hunky-dory sessions. Although they aren't called the hunky-dory sessions, but the sessions that are around that time. Ziggy Stardust sessions, The Man Who Sold the World, which is my current favourite Bowie album. There's some great stuff on there. For example, Width of a Circle. They play that, and it's so loose and ragged, and it's almost like it's falling apart. The ending isn't being rehearsed or anything like that. And I think John Peel interviews David Bowie just before they play, and he says, and you've got Michael Ronson on guitar, Mick Ronson, Michael Ronson on guitar, and David said, yes, he just came down 2 days ago, and so we've been rehearsing lots. So this is just after Mick had come down from Hull, and they're going straight into a BBC studio. When does that happen these days? So it's brilliant. And it's a really interesting artefact for me as a massive Bowie fan. For the everyday average vinyl listener who possibly isn't such a Bowie fan as me, this might not be the best use of money if you want to invest in some David to listen to, because a lot of the versions of these songs aren't as good as the originals, but they're really interesting for me to hear, because I can hear the progression of where they've come from, and so I like them equally as much as the originals. They're not as good a quality, and they don't contain the hit ingredients as much. Width of a Circle is a perfect example. Again, it doesn't quite work. There's lots on there from his early album. It's self-titled. There's a load. It goes all the way through. there's some really nice acoustic stuff with just him and Just Mick Ronson playing together, which is great. 5 years on side 6, I really enjoyed. I love that song anyway, so that was great. So overall, I love it. I think it's brilliant. I think if you're a Bowie fan and you've got the cash to get it, then you should get it, because it's a really interesting listen. If you're not a big Bowie fan, maybe you just like him in passing, maybe you got a couple of his albums, maybe the best of, would it be worth investing in this? Maybe not. Maybe going for the CD copy a bit cheaper to scope it out first, or build that collection. Make sure you've got something from the Berlin trilogy, all of them probably. Make sure you've got a copy of Let's Dance and you know, Black Stars, of course. Possibly might be worth the investment instead. But this is certainly, I find, a very interesting historical document. I'm glad that I've got it, and I'm going to listen to it. I'm not going to listen to it really regularly, but like I say, it's going to be interspersed when I'm listening to other periods of his career. Interesting, the last thing they did, the Rock and Roll Suicide, which is in, I think it's 1972, the next time that he stepped foot in the studio was in during Tin Machine, so it was over a decade later. Well over a decade. Is it almost 2 decades later? He stepped into Maida Vale for BBC. So there ain't going to be any more BBC Bowie at the Beeb boxes, because he was off in America then, and then he was off in Germany and whatnot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comment below if there's anything you want to say. Take care and see you soon. Bye.